I can't found my son Emeka. Please, the spirit of the forest should release him for cause I love my son.
By the time the sun set, the village had become eerily quiet, but in the heart of the forest, a mother screamed for her child. It was a scream that echoed through the trees, one that no one could ignore. In a small village in Nigeria, there lived a woman named Adama. She was a kind-hearted, hard-working mother. Her life was simple, yet full of love for her son, Emeka. Emeka was a curious boy who always asked many questions. He was a dreamer and a thinker, often lost in his thoughts while playing in the fields. His mother was his world, and everything he did for her. One morning, Emeka had a new idea. He wanted to explore the forest that surrounded their village. His mother, like any good mother, warned him not to go too deep into the woods. "There are dangers there," she would say. "Be careful, my son." But Emeka, being young and fearless, thought he could handle it. The forest had always been a place of mystery, and he longed to uncover its secrets. "I'll just go for a little while," he promised, "and I'll be back before the sun sets." Adama, who loved him dearly, hesitated. She wanted to protect him from harm, but she didn't want to make him afraid. "Remember what I told you," she said softly. "The forest is full of things you cannot see, things that are not kind. Do not go too far." But Emeka smiled, kissed his mother's cheek, and ran off into the forest, his excitement stronger than any fear. The sun was high when Emeka entered the thick part of the woods. He loved how the light streamed through the trees, how the air smelled of wet earth and wildflowers. But the further he went, the darker and colder it became. Strange sounds filled the air, the rustling of leaves, the snapping of twigs underfoot, the distant hoot of an owl. He ignored the unease growing in his chest and pressed forward. Then he saw something strange. A clearing appeared in front of him, surrounded by trees that had never been there before. In the center stood an old, crooked tree with twisted roots that seemed to reach into the ground like fingers. At its base was a stone, and on that stone sat a small, glowing bird. Emeka approached slowly, his heart racing with curiosity. The bird's feathers shimmered in the dim light, and its eyes shone bright and deep. It didn't fly away or make a sound. It just stared at him. Without thinking, Emeka reached out to touch it. The moment his fingers brushed the bird's feathers, everything changed. The forest around him went silent. The trees seemed to close in. The light that had once filtered through the leaves was now gone. A deep chill settled in the air, and Emeka felt a wave of fear wash over him. But before he could move, he heard a voice. It was soft but commanding. "Leave this place," it whispered, and Emeka froze. He looked around but saw no one. The voice came again, louder this time. "Leave now, or you will never return." But Emeka didn't listen. His curiosity was too strong. He wanted to know who or what was speaking to him. And so, he stayed. Suddenly, the bird flapped its wings, and the ground beneath him rumbled. Emeka stumbled back in fear as the tree's roots began to rise, twisting and curling toward him. The earth seemed to come alive, pulling him in. Panic surged in Emeka's chest as he realized he was trapped. The forest was no longer a place of wonder, it had become a prison. His heart raced, and he screamed for help. But no one came. Back in the village, Adama was walking in her garden when she felt a sudden chill run down her spine. Her hands trembled as she picked up her tools. Something was wrong. Emeka hadn't returned, and the sun was beginning to set. Without thinking, she dropped everything and ran toward the forest. She called out for her son as she moved deeper into the woods. "Emeka, where are you?" Her voice echoed through the trees, but there was no answer. Her heart beat faster with every step she took. She knew something was terribly wrong. Finally, she reached the clearing. The air was thick with an unnatural stillness. Adama's breath caught in her throat when she saw the crooked tree and the glowing bird. It was as if the forest itself was waiting for her. Without a second thought, Adama stepped forward and spoke, her voice strong but filled with love. "I will not leave without my son. I am his mother, and I will find him." The bird fluttered its wings, and the tree seemed to shudder in response. But Adama stood firm. The roots tried to reach for her, but she stepped back and cried out to the spirit of the forest. "I love him more than anything in this world. If you want him, you must take me too," she shouted. The forest grew silent, and then, slowly, the glowing bird flew toward her. Adama closed her eyes and waited, her heart in her throat. She could feel the presence of the forest around her, ancient and powerful, but she didn't waver. In an instant, the bird perched on her shoulder. The roots of the tree retracted, and the darkness that had consumed the forest lifted. The tree swayed gently in the breeze, and the path back to the village was clear. Adama hurried to Emeka's side, where he lay, unconscious but unharmed. She pulled him into her arms, tears streaming down her face. "I told you not to go too far," she whispered. "But I will always come for you, no matter what." As they made their way back to the village, the forest behind them grew quiet once more. Adama knew that the forest had tested her, but a mother's love was stronger than any fear. And from that day on, Emeka never wandered too far from home. He had learned the hard way that the forest held many secrets, but the greatest one was that no matter what, a mother's love would always find a way. And so, the story of Adama and Emeka lived on in the village, a reminder that love is the greatest power in the world. The moral of a mother's love is that a mother's love is unwavering and powerful enough to overcome even the most daunting challenges. It emphasizes the strength of love. A mother's love can conquer fear and danger, as seen when Adama defied the forest to save her son. The importance of listening to wisdom. Emeka's disobedience to his mother's warnings led him into danger, highlighting the value of respecting advice and guidance from elders. The consequences of curiosity without caution. While curiosity is natural, venturing too far without understanding risks can lead to trouble, as it did for Emeka. Sacrifice and bravery. Adama's willingness to risk everything for her son demonstrates the selflessness and courage inherent in a mother's love. The story teaches us to cherish love, respect wisdom, and approach the unknown with caution. We have come to the end of this story, guys. Please comment in the comment section what you've learned so far in this story. And if you are coming across my channel for the first time, please join us as we keep these timeless stories alive. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications bell so you never miss a new tale. Like, comment, and share this video. Thanks.